Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is the Wrestling Insomniac from the channel Wrestling Insomniacs, and today, with a little bit more energy, I hope, I'm going to be speaking about the WWE Heavyweight Championship, how it should be booked moving forward, how we need to make the title important. As I say, it's been on Kofi Kingston for a few months now. Not to say it's not been important, and not to say it's had some good matches, but is Kofi's time through? I think some people seem to think so. It was more about the chase that was holding the damn title, and now we've got going into SummerSlam in just a couple of weeks' time. We've got Randy Orton, the Viper, coming in to face Kofi Kingston. Now, at the moment, there's no confirmed stipulations. It'd be good if they added one. It would make the match even more interesting. Not that the match isn't interesting on its own, because they've now brought in a 9-year-old feud, which is very, very interesting storytelling. And I'm very intrigued as to where they're going to go with it. I don't know who should win, or I should say, I don't know who I want to win in this scenario. Randy Orton as a sort of demonic heel is his best character, so yeah, if they were to turn him into 14-time champ, I guess fair enough. But at the same time, in terms of if Kofi was to win, I don't know where they go with him. If I'm honest, I know they've got this sort of stable thing now of, at the moment, New Day are holding the tag titles and the main WWE Heavyweight Championship. The only thing they're missing would be the IC title, but then hopefully they're building up Nakamura back with the IC title. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sort of do the booking as how I think they're going to do it, or how they should do it, rather than how I want it to be done. So SummerSlam's going to come and go, and we're going to have, I think, Orton picking up the victory, whether it's through heel shenanigans. Regardless, it's still going to be an actual pinfall, and then Orton will win the title. And that will take us through to the September pay-per-view, which was normally Hell in a Cell. I can't remember if they've changed it this year. I know we've got Clash of Champions coming up before Saudi Arabia, I believe. Anyway, so we'll get to the next pay-per-view. I don't think we would have a repeat Kofi versus Orton match, because Kofi's a face. I think he would just sort of naturally fall back into the New Day, and of course they've got the tag titles, and they can carry on their story, separately. So Orton champion, he's going to have a long line of people wanting to fight him to challenge for the title. Although Kevin Owens as a face now is one of the obvious choices, I will get to him. Obviously, he's going to come off the back of hopefully a Shane McMahon complete utter ass kicking. So he's going to be there, but not yet, because he needs to stay looking strong. And I don't think him going straight in against Orton would help either of them. I think Orton needs to hold the title at least for a little bit. So, in terms of who I think will be next, it's going to be, I think Mustafa Ali would be a good first challenger to Randy Orton. The actual Nearly Man, the actual It Should Have Been Me character, not Dolph Bloody Ziggler. And they would put on one hell of a match. I think Ali is sort of this superhero-y gimmick that he seems to be perceiving now. I think he can push Orton a long way, and then Orton again, maybe he has to win by heel shenanigans to actually pick up the victory, which keeps Ali looking strong. And then I think Ali Orton could go through to Saudi Arabia, whether it's 2 or 3 fights. I think all of them Ali should actually pick up the title. I just think they'll have some very good matches. Maybe at some stage throw someone else in there, make it like a multi-man match. Just so that Ali doesn't look weak in the process, so sort of maybe someone that can take the pinfall. Cesaro, Sheamus is due to come back. Maybe have a means to they actually split off and one of them goes to go face, so they're literally no longer affiliated with each other at all. That would be good booking. So that would then sort of take us through to Survivor Series. Now, with the new Fox deal, I think we're going to go from the norm of the last couple of years. I don't think we're going to have Raw versus SmackDown I think we'll just have sort of special stipulation matches, or I'm hoping we'll have some form of special stipulation matches. I did bring one up during my Universal title picture a video, so please again check that out. So in terms of the WWE Championship, this is where I feel Owens should come into the fray. It's been a few months since he's kicked Shane's backside. He'll have had time to deal with any sort of onslaught from that. It's like Drew McIntyre, Elias, maybe the Revival. Get all that done and buried, literally good. And then we could have Orton versus Kevin Owens. Now this is where Orton should lose, and Kevin Owens picks up the title. I'm sure in the coming months he's just going to elevate his popularity ever more. So it'll be time literally just put the title straight on Kevin Owens. Keep him face, of course. Don't turn him heel again once he has the title. And again, he could have some great matches. Now, one person I'm thinking of for him to feud with relatively quickly, especially as we're talking months down the line at this stage, would be someone like Aleister Black. I know some people would perhaps think Black is better off in the IC title picture, but I'm hoping in terms of the matches that he's going to have had between now and after Survivor Series, leading to the sort of Royal Rumble picture, that Black would be ready for this. And again, it doesn't have to be a one-on-one. It could be a multi-man feud. Finn Balor's going to have come back, and again, hopefully, Survivor Series dealt with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and could be available for sort of something in the main title picture. Hopefully, if it's been dealt with in terms of Bray properly, he would fit into that scenario as well. And again, that would be a very, very good match. Throw a big guy in the picture. Lars Sullivan might be ready by that point. I know he's injured for several months, but if he suddenly came back, you've got the big guys, sort of heel and face, and then you've got the smaller, more mobile guys, and it could be one hell of a match, especially again if there was a stipulation attached to it. Now, in that match, there's got to be someone in there that's got to take the pinfall. I hate saying it, but I think in that scenario, it's going to have to be Balor. Especially if he's come out looking strong against Bray Wyatt, he can take it. And I think Owens should then sort of keep the title again. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because in terms of the Royal Rumble picture, in my mind, I'm generally not sure who I want to win. Because of course whoever wins can challenge for either title, or SmackDown Raw, etc. So at this moment in time, someone in terms of who I'd want to win the Royal Rumble would be, someone that needs elevating even more. Someone like Ricochet, by that point, of course, you'd have got through the AJ Styles feud for the US title, or Andrade. Someone that is a very good wrestler, but in terms of their actual popularity, isn't quite there yet. And a big moment like that would get them there. So, as I say, Andrade for SmackDown or Ricochet for Raw would be my main two picks at this stage, especially sort of thinking about what they'll be like several months down, 6 months down the line at this stage. So if we were to sort of go with what I want it to be, which would be Ricochet winning it, that would mean that Owens needs continuous feuds moving forward. I think in terms of my long-term booking, I think that he would keep the title at WrestleMania. I think we could have like a big Sami Zayn KO match there, give Sami Zayn a big moment, because he bloody deserves one at this point. He's been such a good heel since he's come back, and lost every single match along the way as well. God damn it. But between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, again, we're going to have two more pay-per-views. We've got Elimination Chamber probably, and probably Fastlane as well. Now the Chamber, you have KO. The WWE title was defended in the Elimination Chamber when Bray Wyatt won it 2 years ago. So we've had a title change at Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in recent years. So I don't think you do it here. I think Owen should have a one-on-one match at the Elimination Chamber. That again could be sort of one of the guys that wasn't pinned at the Royal Rumble. Again, hopefully, I'd like them to see perhaps Black against KO rather than Lars Sullivan in a one-on-one match. Again, great match. And then I think the only way that Black doesn't win is because Sami Zayn has interfered, costing the match, because he wants Kevin Owens. Now, Fastlane, Sami Zayn hasn't just got the match; he's got to earn it. So Sami Zayn at Fastlane will feud with somebody, Black perhaps, and maybe others, and then you give Sami Zayn that big win. He's got a big win to get into the WrestleMania picture. Can make him look strong. And then we've got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in one-on-one at WrestleMania. A match some people have wanted to see, I suppose, in that sort of big environment for such a long time. But I'd love to see it in that sort of environment, especially one face, one heel. Since they come up to the main roster, it's been predominantly that they've either been face or both been heel. Which has been frustrating, I suppose. And then, as I say, in that match, it goes long. You give it a lot of time. And then you have this moment at the end where Kevin Owens wins. Then you have this moment where, I suppose, Sami Zayn, basically, he then does turn face again because of the moment. They sort of hug it out, you do the normal thing, especially on a big stage like that. And so Sami Zayn is face again, still on a different brand though, because of course he's on Raw predominantly at this stage anyway. And they carry on their separate ways at the moment, but both face. And then again, that leads us sort of going through the summer months. So you've got Money in the Bank, the pay per view. If it's not going to be Backlash or whatever else, they're going to rename it again next year. I should say. Sorry. Now, Money in the Bank, this time it's due to be a SmackDown star winning the Money in the Bank. Now, as Andrade didn't win the Royal Rumble, I want to see Andrade win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, again, we've had so many early cash-ins this time round, the last couple of years, that Andrade just needs to hold the briefcase for a long time. He's going to be almost forgotten about. We're going to leave it months down the line. And between the booking between Mania next year and SummerSlam, Andrade's might tease it once or twice, but he's not actually going to catch. Selena Vega might tease it. He won't actually cash in for a long time. He's sort of out of the picture in a sense. Now, KO, of course, needs to develop these new feuds. He's still face himself. Now, what I'd be interested to see is that in the months, nearly a year down the line, what the state of the New Day is. I would love to see both Xavier and Big E have singles runs. Maybe one does around the IC title, and maybe Big E is sort of inserted into the main title picture. Perhaps that's one way I could look at it. Because KO versus Big E would be a very good match. It would sell. Again, I don't know if we'd have it as two faces, or if we'd have it as this sort of Big E heel turn, which is, I think it's due. And again, they would have a very good match. KO would come through despite maybe sort of shenanigans along the outside. Again, it makes KO look strong, and again he keeps the title once more. Then we get to Extreme Rules. I think we would have a sort of a special stipulation match here. Maybe it's a TLC match itself, or just a ladder match, something along those lines. Now, I think here we go for sort of the shock win of sorts. So KO's held the title for about 8-9 months by this point. So a very decently sized title reign. And I think the Extreme Rules match again needs to be a multi-man match, maybe a 6-man match. That they've built up storyline wise on SmackDown. So you've got lots of guys in there. And that's what I say, the New Day guys. Maybe Orton's got himself back into the picture again. because I know his contract's due to run out around that point next year. And then you could of course have Black come into the picture again, Cesaro or maybe Sheamus, Sami Zayn if he's actually coming over to SmackDown perhaps. But it's just lots of guys, lots of a big fun mess, not just a mess, a fun mess. KO isn't the one guy that's pinned, but he does lose his title move for the ladder match, of course. Like the ladder you go, but if it's a full 1-4 match, then KO doesn't take the pin, so that he gets a rematch at SummerSlam, or he owns it somehow, but that he loses the title. Now, who I'd want to be the shock winner would be someone that probably wasn't even in the match to start with, or it didn't seem to be. So now, what I'm thinking here, someone is wiped out before the match starts, so that one person can't compete. It'd be a better way than Brock Lesnar this year, wiping someone out and then suddenly just taking the briefcase. It'd be more enjoyable than watching that. Now, the person who I'd want to see do that would be Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt is going to have had lots of good matches against like demon-y type people. He's going to have gone through a lot of them, had a few good feuds with those guys up until after Mania, and then he's got away after his Mania match for a couple of months. He's not been on TV since Mania, and he's gone all quiet again because that's what he likes to do a lot. And then suddenly out of the blue, he's there. Extreme Rules, bang, nicks the title. He's the champ. He's WWE champ out of nowhere. Maybe he's got like Luke Harper or Rowan or someone with him as well, a minion of sorts that helps. But Bray Wyatt is the champ. Not Fiend yet. Bray Wyatt is the champ. He just come out in his gym gear or something, and he's the champ. So that it would lead to a SummerSlam match of Kevin Owens versus Bray Wyatt. Now, then you'd have Bray Wyatt sort of turn into the Fiend during the match. Somehow you do some, I don't know, do like special effects or something would happen so that he is Fiend out of the blue, SummerSlam. So Kevin Owens basically gets murdered, kayfabe. Kayfabe sense of the word murdered. And that would be that. It would be sort of Bray Wyatt. Then there's a long champ, having gone over a very popular Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens looks strong all the way. He's just been literally brutalised though by, well, it's essentially a 2-on-1 match because Bray Wyatt's got this mindset of it being able to sort of control the Fiend. It's almost like fighting two people at the same time. So by all means, it doesn't make Kevin Owens look weak. And that's how I think the title should be booked for the next, just over a year. I think it makes some very good booking. We'd have couple of very good champions in that time, and we'd make some other people look very strong and have some very good matches as well. Of course, we're going to have all the other feuds in between, which would be great watching as well. But that's why I think it should be booked. Hopefully, you stuck with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Of course, please give me a subscribe as well. I am, again, as I say, the original Wrestling Insomniac. And hopefully I will get better at doing these videos. Thank you for sticking with me. Speak soon. Bye.